Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler. This time we circle back to one of the more popular DVD releases of the original trilogy to look at some Walmart exclusives I've finally managed to get my hands on. You may recall that back in 2006, you could have gotten a Best Buy collector's tin to get your Star Wars trilogy. But otherwise, whether you're inside this or you're just buying them individually, there weren't any other boxed sets. But what we had that year were these releases: widescreen or full screen in blue, limited edition, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi here. But these were the ones that inside included the same disc as in 2004, 2005, and eventually in 2008, plus the unaltered version of the film, supposedly, we've talked about that before, on a bonus DVD. These two discs together would be re-released in slim packaging in that 2008 boxed set. But 2006 was that two-disc regular DVD version and supposedly unaltered version in one package. Individual releases unless you went to Best Buy and got the collector's tin. Now, as we looked at previously, a long time ago, if in 2005 you had picked up the DVD of Revenge of the Sith in widescreen, you could have gotten The Story of Star Wars as a bonus disc to go with that. Well, that was not the end of Walmart exclusives in that era. The very next year, 2006, when those limited edition with the unaltered versions of the original trilogy came out on DVD, Walmart also had some exclusives then. 3 films means 3 exclusives, all sort of a type, all with similarity in their presentation here. I hadn't had them for a while. I hadn't thought about really adding them to the collection. Finally ran across them at decent prices and snagged them recently. These are the so-called comic DVD packs. We have A New Hope here. Limited time only. Collect all 3 original movies. Then cover here of the original, plus it says a little sticker-looking thing here says, limited time only includes the digitally remastered movie plus original theatrical version. That is a sticker that's on the shrink wrap of the releases, not actually a sticker that's on the case. That's why it's not showing on the ones that I showed you before. And notice here, that sure looks like the first issue of Marvel's original Star Wars comic series from back in 1977. What is this? Plus bonus graphic novel. Okay, interesting. Aside, Star Wars, A New Hope, and bonus graphic novel. You got your Episode 4 down there, THX, Lucasfilm. Up there at the top, 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment. Effectively the same thing on the other spine. Nothing on the bottom, it's just where the cardboard comes together. Up on the top, similar, but just the film name and A New Hope and bonus graphic novel. The back, experience the Star Wars saga like never before. Includes digitally remastered and original theatrical movies. Then it has your individual films here. A New Hope. As war rages in the galaxy, Princess Leia, a captive rebel leader, sends out a distress signal that is intercepted by Luke Skywalker, who teams up with Han Solo, Chewbacca, and the lovable droid duo R2-D2 and C-3PO to rescue the princess and help overthrow the evil Empire. The Empire Strikes Back. After a devastating attack on the rebel ice base, Han Solo and Princess Leia attempt to outrun the Imperial fleet, while Luke Skywalker seeks out the mysterious Jedi Master Yoda. During a lightsaber duel against Darth Vader, Luke faces a terrible truth about the Skywalker legacy. Damn, spoilers! And granted, you know, it doesn't spoil the biggest stuff, but kind of spoilery there as far as things go. Certainly more so than A New Hope. And then Return of the Jedi. In the spectacular final chapter of the Star Wars saga, the Galactic Civil War culminates in the ultimate showdown as Luke, Leia, Han, and the Rebel forces gather to attack the seemingly defenseless and incomplete second Death Star in the battle that will determine the fate of the galaxy. Collect all 3 today. And then you got your tech specs for the regular disc and for the bonus disc here. Now you open these up from the top. Inside you find that exact same release. Okay? Nothing different about the discs, the insert, anything at all. It's just that 2006 limited edition widescreen release. But also inside is this. Okay? Notice it looks a little different than what that front shows you. Okay? Dark Horse symbol up here. This cover is a recreation of Star Wars #1 from Marvel back in the day. Dark Horse Comics had the license at the time, so this is a reprint through Dark Horse. Dark Horse Comics instead of Marvel up there at the top. Your Lucas Books logo. Fabulous first issue. Enter Luke Skywalker. Will he save the galaxy or destroy it? He really had the potential to destroy it. The epic official adaptation of the monumental 20th Century Fox movie, a film by George Lucas. On the back, Luke and Leia zipping off. Imperial symbol there for the era, Dark Horse and Lucas Books logos. If you actually start flipping through this, this is not that first issue. This is the entire original Marvel Comics adaptation of A New Hope. Now, a couple things interesting about this. Of course, this is a Marvel adaptation, but it's a Dark Horse publication. That's just because Dark Horse had the rights to it, and Dark Horse was republishing Marvel stuff. Just like right now, Marvel is republishing Dark Horse stuff, like in the Epic collections. Nothing new under the sun when it comes to that sort of thing here. What's interesting here, though, is that this is 2006. This is a copy of a story published back in 1977. Well, in 1997, because of all the changes to the special editions and the fact that this adaptation doesn't really match the film in a lot of places, you can see that on my From the Star Wars Library, that On Hiatus video series on publications. Because of that, they actually made a brand new comic adaptation, specifically updating things in 1997. That's at least closer to the DVD version people are buying here, but that's not what you get. Okay, so Dark Horse did not include its newest version, its own version. Instead, they included that original Marvel one, probably because it has that original theatrical version, supposedly, that manages to effectively mirror this in terms of the time period in which it is made. But this is what was originally repurposed over and over again by Dark Horse as Classic Star Wars A New Hope. Not just Star Wars A New Hope, the special edition. No, this is Classic Star Wars A New Hope, or the original A New Hope adaptation from Marvel Comics from issues 1 through 6 of the original Marvel series, with a variant cover here for this package. If you're wondering how they sit inside, the comic goes across on the top there, the DVD goes in the little side over here. What's interesting, I guess, is that I was looking at this, and I always thought this was a digest-sized thing. It doesn't say Marvel Comics on the cover. Oops. I always thought this would be like a digest-sized kind of thing because of the size of what's looking like here. I thought it was like a DVD with the digest next to it. It's not. It is a full-size comic book because it fits in sideways. At the same time, we had The Empire Strikes Back. Again, everything about these covers is basically the same. Right down to the information that's on the back there, since it's talking about all three. The only thing that's really different is the front. And again, they're showing an old Marvel Super Special magazine version of The Empire Strikes Back here on the cover. The Empire Strikes Back, or excuse me, the official comic adaptation of the most eagerly anticipated space fantasy film of all. The complete story in dazzling full color. The Star Wars saga continues. But it's The Empire Strikes Back, right? Pop it open. Again, exact same release. I had it in backwards. Exact same release as in 2006. And then inside is the comic. Now, same kind of cover art here, pretty much, but all that text is gone. Marvel Super Special, all that stuff is gone. This is a Dark Horse publication, Empire Strikes Back. Actually, the cover of, I believe, the beginning of the adaptation from the original Marvel series. And then it is inside a copy of issues 39 through 44. I did just have to look of the Marvel series, which is turned into the Marvel Empire Strikes Back adaptation, which was then reprinted as Classic Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back by Dark Horse. And it's all there. It's the entire adaptation right there in one nifty little book. Again, a variant cover version of a trade paperback that we saw published and republished by Dark Horse that was based on a book that was published and republished repeatedly by Marvel based on those 6 issues, 39 through 44, of the original Marvel series from 1980. And to round it out, of course, Return of the Jedi. Again, same film there. There's the cover they're showing us. It's not exactly the same cover that is inside, as with all the other ones. They're giving us the Marvel cover here. And I imagine Dark Horse must have been pretty pissed off about that, right? You're advertising it as having something from a publisher that doesn't even have the rights anymore. We may be using a similar cover, but screw you for doing that, right? I'm sure Dark Horse was not happy. So there's your cover as it's being promoted here, the Marvel Super Special, number 27, Return of the Jedi. The official comics adaptation of the greatest space fantasy of all. You actually open it up. Again, packaging otherwise the same. There's your widescreen version, exactly like you got otherwise in 2006. And then you have your comic adaptation, which is this. Not magazine size like the other one either. Regular comic size here. All the text removed, the Marvel references removed. But that same kind of cover again. May the Force be with you there on the back, which for some bizarre reason is showing us the walkers from The Empire Strikes Back instead of showing us anything from Return of the Jedi. Had they seen the movie? And then we've got our logos, of course, down here. Pop it open, and it is the full adaptation. What's interesting here, though, is that for Marvel, A New Hope was 6 issues. Empire was 6 issues. Return of the Jedi was only 4 issues, and it was a separate miniseries, not part of the regular 107-issue run of the original Marvel Comics series, which gives this a little bit of room for some extra stuff because it's only 4 issues collected, whereas the other ones were 6. If you want to keep the values somewhat consistent here. So once you get to the end of the actual film, you get classic Star Wars, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi sketchbook, concept art kind of stuff there, which is kind of neat. But again, this is a republishing of those 4 Marvel issues that were collected by Marvel multiple times, including in one with a cover similar to this, then republished as Classic Star Wars Return of the Jedi by Dark Horse. Now, Empire and Jedi didn't get special edition comic adaptations, so they just kept reprinting the same original Marvel ones over and over. Now Marvel is still reprinting the Marvel ones over and over again. So this is the same one you get even today, whereas A New Hope was superseded, but they still included the original in these packages. But this is a Dark Horse version, again, with a variant cover based on the cover of an old Marvel special. Now, if I could give you one piece of advice if you're trying to hunt these down somewhere like eBay, I would suggest finding them individually. Okay? Individually, they're going to tend to run you anywhere between about $30 and $60 each, at the furthest out about 80 or 90 for each individual. On the other hand, I've seen people lump these all together and sell them as a trilogy set. Lots of people apparently grabbed these at the time and are now selling them off as set. And that's lovely and all. But usually those are selling with starting prices of $300 plus. Some going up into the ridiculous like $600, $700, $800 range. For something you could get individually for between $30 and at most about $90. So be patient. Hunt them down individually if you can. If you absolutely must have them now, you can get one of those all 3 together in one auction things, but understand you're paying a premium to be able to get them together. It just happens to be the way that eBay is shaping up the auctions for these based on sellers' preferences right now. With that, though, we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching. May the Force be with the home video viewers.